Today on DC News Now, the names of the victims released after a carjacking spree turned deadly and crossed state lines. The message from family members. Then, is rain on the way for the DMV? A check on the forecast. Plus, a new report on gun violence in the district. How social media could be a reason why for the rise in crime. Going once, going twice. What's next for the Baltimore Orioles after a potential deal reached to sell the baseball team? And in Wellness Wednesday, the power of breathing.
It's called the 4-7-8 technique.
How to help manage your stress.
You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
And good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for the news at noon. I'm Mark Hall. Happening now, the 16-year-old accused of stabbing her friend over sweet and sour sauce is in court today. 16-year-old Niema Legan and friends went to McDonald's in Northwest after leaving a party in August of 2023. She and another girl got into a fight over the sweet and sour sauce, and that's when the girl stabbed her. The 16-year-old girl pleaded guilty as a juvenile in December. DC News Now's Dave LaValle is inside the courtroom and will bring you updates as we learn more. And we have new details this afternoon on the violent string of carjackings that cross state lines. DC police releasing the names of the victims in those carjackings. The suspect was shot and killed by police yesterday. DC News Now's Candace Cole is in New Carrollton with the latest.
We've just learned the identity of one of the victims of that deadly carjacking rampage that left 2 people dead, including the suspect, and another person with life-threatening injuries. Mike Gill has been identified as the shooting victim in the first carjacking that took place in the 900 block of K Street Northwest around 5:45 p.m. Monday. A family spokesperson says Gill is an amazing husband and father of 3 with a great sense of humor and is, quote, always looking for opportunities to bring people together and make them feel included and loved. The second victim, 35-year-old Alberto Vasquez of Virginia, was killed during the 3rd reported incident around 7 p.m. Monday when police say the suspect approached a group of people standing outside of a car on 3rd and N Streets Northeast, demanded the car, and shot Vasquez. Police say the suspect drove that car into Prince George's County, where he stole 2 more vehicles, including an SUV, from a rideshare driver. The crime spree eventually ended around 4:35 Tuesday morning in New Carrollton, where police say the man pulled out 2 guns on New Carrollton police officers, and the officers then fired their weapons, killing the suspect. Police believe the suspect may have been suffering from a mental health crisis at the time of the crime spree. While New Carrollton Police Chief Colonel David Rice couldn't speak specifically about the suspect's state of mind, he did say mental health factors in heavily to his officers' approach when responding to situations.
What we do is everything we train our officers to do now is de-escalation. It's not about arrests or anything like that. It's about what can we do to help you, but we have to make sure they understand that's what we are trying to do.
Now, this case has now been handed over to the Maryland Attorney General's office for further investigation. The suspect in this case has not yet been named, but we expect that information along with body cam footage to be released within the coming days and weeks. In New Carrollton, Candace Cole, DC News Now.
Our thanks to Candace. Meteorologist Damon Matson joined us with the latest check on the forecast. And Damon, when I was driving to work this morning, I noticed a little bit of rain, but is that moving now?
Yeah, light sprinkles were out there earlier this morning, Mark, but that was the most of any precipitation we really saw, and that is coming to an end, thankfully enough. So we don't have to worry about any soggy weather the rest of this Wednesday afternoon, but I will mention it, folks. Yeah, those clouds that made it quite difficult, I'm sure, for some of us to start our day out there today, they aren't going anywhere. Now, here's the remnants of that light drizzle that we noticed in and around the DC Metro. That was back toward about 10 a.m. or so. The last of that sort of fizzled out, and there is nothing else popping up in terms of precipitation on the radar. We just have those added clouds sticking around, and they are going to be stubborn as we move throughout the rest of the day. Any rain we did pick up was extremely minimal at this point, as expected here. Most locations locations did not even get more than a trace of that light rainfall as this frontal boundary clipper system, if you will, it really fizzled out as it drifted south. The remnants of it here sitting right off of the Carolina coast as high pressure is continuing to be the main influence here, nudging that system out of the way. And eventually that high pressure will also lead to skies clearing out just a little bit, but not until we get into the overnight hours. Unfortunately, everyone, expect an overcast sky. We may end up with a few breaks of sunshine right before sunset around 4 to 5 o'clock. And because of all of this cloud cover, well, temperatures will stay chilly once again. Mid-40s is what we can expect through the rest of the day today. But as we move on into Thursday and high pressure starts to become more of an influence, do we finally see some sunshine out there? And will that bump our temperatures up as we head into the end of the week? We'll have a full look at that forecast coming up here in just a bit.
Developing now, D.C. police say a young girl is dead after a driver hit her in Southeast D.C. It happened last night at a gas station near Minnesota and Pennsylvania Avenues. Police say the driver stayed at the scene.
Our hearts go out to the family of this juvenile female. We do have surveillance. We're not ready to release the contents of that video at this time.
Right now, it's unclear if any charges will be filed. Police also have not released the girl's age or said who she was with when she was hit. Well, a dramatic scene in Centerville, Virginia. Yesterday, a car rammed into a family's home while the house was occupied. Fortunately, everyone is okay, but the damage to the house is clear. Northern Virginia reporter Max Marcella has more.
An unbelievable sight on this residential street in Centerville. The driver of this Ford SUV ramming his car into this home around 3:30. It prompted a rapid emergency response captured by this neighbor's doorbell camera as two people were inside. Fairfax Fire and Rescue says the driver was extricated from the car and taken to a nearby hospital. The homeowners telling us they are okay, but shaken up, saying it sounded like a bomb.
Saw a car going 80, 70, 80 miles an hour diagonally.
It attracted a crowd as first responders worked to remove the car from the home once everyone was okay. Tonight, no information on the driver, though police confirming he's a juvenile and his injuries are minor.
That was Max Marcella reporting. The area where this crash happened is near several schools. We're told a school bus drove by just minutes before the crash, and a bystander we spoke with said he hopes that this encourages the county to install speed bumps on this road and other residential streets in the area. Well, Metro's Inspector General is launching a new whistleblower award program. Starting tomorrow, information provided by whistleblowers could receive awards of up to $10,000. Reports can disclose fraud, waste, or mismanagement. The Inspector General says the awards will be given to people whose tips either save WMATA $1 million or recover $250,000. Visit WMATA's website for more information. Well, in Prince William County, parents are celebrating their healthy baby. Baby Audrey was born yesterday on the side of the highway, and police say that police responded to a medical emergency on the shoulder of I-66, and just as the state trooper arrived, Audrey was born inside the car, and police say that the mother, father, and Audrey safely made their way to the hospital, and all are doing great. Well, an effort to allow the governor to serve 2 consecutive terms has failed in the General Assembly. Virginia is the only state where the governor cannot serve 2 terms in a row. Some argue that this limit does not give governors enough time to get things done, but yesterday Democrats killed the measure. Delegate David Reed says that he's concerned about the governor becoming too powerful.
I'm curious how you would reconcile having a 2-term, very powerful governor with no other changes to the Constitution that would maintain a checks and balances with the legislative branch.
Well, if this bill had passed, it would have applied to governors elected after 2028. Well, in health news, improving mental health is now the focus for one Maryland county. Montgomery County's Department of Health just released 2023's Community Health Needs Assessment. The report lists mental health as the overall most important health concern. According to the survey, people living in the county say that there's a lack of proper mental health insurance. And they also say that there's not enough bilingual or culturally aware mental health providers. The report also found that low crime, violence-free environments are the most important contributors to a healthy community. The report also highlights a public need for park access in public spaces and recreation. Along with that is an active living and nutritious eating. The report identifies a rising diabetes mortality rate and children receiving free or reduced school lunches in the county as indicators for that need. And for a more detailed look at that report, community members can attend a virtual town hall on February 21st. You can register for that event on the Montgomery County website. A shakeup coming to the Baltimore Orioles. According to the Associated Press, a new owner is shelling out $1.7 billion for the team. That person also the co-owner of the Carly Group in D.C. DC News Now's Lex Juarez has more from outside the investment firm's office building in Penn Quarter in the district.
Well, it was a remarkable season for the Orioles, even with a tough loss at the end to the Rangers. And now looking ahead to this new season with a new controlling owner for the first time since the 90s. The new reported owner, David Rubenstein, is the Carlyle Group co-founder. According to an anonymous source with the AP, he's already put together an investment team for the O's. The deal went at just over $1.7 billion. That's a steep climb from the $173 million the team went for just over 30 years ago. Now, in recent years, the team has been rebuilding, and fans got to see the hard work pay off with a really exciting season in 2023. It was the first time since 1980 that the team won 100 games. They finished the season as the #1 seed in the AL and as the AL East division champs. And fans got more good news at the end of the season, with state officials and the team agreeing to a new lease that will keep the Orioles in Baltimore for at least the next 15 years. If plans for development around Camden Yards go as planned, the O's will be there for the next 30. And with the team's come up, that makes for a promising investment for Rubenstein and an exciting season to come for the fans. Now, the season home opener that's coming up quick on March 28th. In Penn Quarter, I'm Lex Juarez, DC News Now.